Hey, good morning, intermediate algebra students. So this first con for this one is called multiply and divide powers using integer exponents. So before I give you the first problem, I just wanted to kind of go over some of the rules when it comes to powers. First of all, so you understand what powers we're looking at like z to the power of 7 times z to the power of third. Now, when you think about that, we're really taking z to the power of 7 is really 7 z's being multiplied by each other, and z to the third is like 3 z's being multiplied by each other. And if I multiply the two together, you would write it out longhand this way. You would take your 7 z's being multiplied by each other, then multiply that by the 3 z's being multiplied together, and all together, how many z's here are being multiplied together? And the answer would be 10. So you'll notice when we have a base to a power, and that same base to another power, and we multiply them, really the 7 and 3 do what to make 10? They add together to make 10. So it's kind of a nice, easy way. So if we multiply them this way and they add together, what do you think happens if we write it this way? So we've got z to the 7th on the top, z to the 3rd on the bottom. You might agree that this would be like 7 z's on the top, 3 z's on the bottom. And what would 3 of the z's on the top and the bottom do to each other? They would cancel each other out. So ultimately, we have how many z's left over? We have z to the 4th, which you might look at. The 7 and the 3, how did we combine the 7 and the 3 to get to the 4? We subtracted. So when you're doing it this direction, you add them to get to here. And when you're doing them this direction, you subtract them to get to here. Now, one last thing I want to go over here before we get too far. What if we have negative power? So what if we have a negative power? So negative powers do not mean negative numbers. This is something that's really hard for students to kind of comprehend. They do not mean a negative power or a negative number. They actually mean negative powers mean do the reciprocal. And if you remember correctly, reciprocal means to flip it upside down. So right now, this one is flipped upside down, so it's on the bottom as a negative. If we want to make it a positive, we simply take that and we move it to the top. So the z to the 7th, which is already positive, stays on the top. The other one we move to the top, and when we move it there, it becomes a positive. Then you'll notice it's just like this one over here, and that would ultimately equal z to the 10th power. Let's do one more of those negatives, okay? We'll do another one here. Here I've got z to the negative 7th and z to the negative 3rd. I find it easiest to put it into this format where everything's on the top, and you just add them together. So let's take this one that's on the bottom, and let's move it to the top, but it becomes the opposite of what it is. So the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. Then we just have to add, what is negative 7 plus positive 3? That's right, it would be z to the negative 4th, because you just add them together. So let's do 3 problems here, and we're going to go quick for 4 problems. We'll go quickly. What is 4 to the 6th times 4 to the negative 8th? You add the 2 powers, and it is 4 to the negative 2nd. Okay, let's do another one. We've got y to the negative 7th over y to the negative 13th. Again, we move this one to the top, and it becomes a positive 13. Then we just add negative 7 and positive 13, and you get y to the positive 6th power. Okay, another one. X to the 2nd times x to the negative 10 or 12th. We add those together, and we get x to the negative 10th. I think that's pretty easy. Last one here. We've got 6 to the negative 6 over 6 to the negative 5th. Again, I like moving this to the top and making it a positive. So then what is negative 6 plus positive 5? And hopefully you agree it's a negative 1. That's what you're doing. Good luck, guys. We'll see you at Google Hangouts. Bye-bye.